Hey there, welcome to Jeep TV. This week, or month rather, we're going to be talking about engines, and specifically this engine. Let's get dirty. The side of this power steering pump has a bolt type thing over here, and that is actually what controls the tension of this belt. So if you want to adjust the tension of the belt, you loosen the power steering pump bolts, and then you turn this guy until it rotates. And so that's what we're going to do. So we're going to loosen these bolts, and then we're going to rotate the power steering pump and take off the belt. These bolts are 1/2 inch. Not all the way out, just loose. Might need a wrench. The opposite side. Checking how many bolts I've got. I have one on top here, I have two here, I have one down at the bottom, which slides in a groove. Loosen that guy a little ways. I'd be a lot better at this if I showed you what I'm doing, right? Alright, power steering pump. I loosened this bolt. You can see in here, the opposite side, there's a bolt right there. I loosened him, and I don't know if you can see that, but way down here, there is another one. It's that dark thing right there. That one actually goes in a slot. Now, on the side, so power steering pump, on the side, there's this bolt here. This actually moves the power steering pump side to side. And that is what controls the tension of this belt. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's move that from side to side. Alright, the belt's getting more loose, so you know you're going the right direction. Oh yeah, we're real loose now. Okay, before you take your belt off, it's really important to take a picture of it, because it's a serpentine belt and it kind of goes around a couple different directions. You don't want to mess that up. Alright, now that you have taken out that old belt, you can get to removing this guy. So all the bolts that you loosened to move him around are going to be the bolts you want to take out to remove said guy. So we're going to do that. Alright, long bolt in back, short bolt top front. There is a 4th bolt at the very bottom back here. It's the one that goes in the slot. Sad. Now you're loose, and all you got is that long adjusting bolt at the bottom. Really super long bolt on the bottom. Again, that's your adjuster. So you've gotten your 4 bolts out and it still doesn't move. There's a stud right there, down at the bottom. You just need to slide him back and out. So that stud is again on that U-shaped track for the tensioning. And now, my friends, you are free. Okay. We have ourselves some kind of sensor here, an electrical harness. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to label this and take a picture of it and then remove it.
And that is some incomplete video. Sorry about that. If you are removing the power steering pump, then what you have left to do is there is a pipe fitting on the top, and you can take that off with a crescent wrench, and then there is a hose on the bottom. There might be a factory hose clamp or an aftermarket screw style hose clamp. You just have to remove that, and I believe it should come out with no issue. Yeah. Sorry about that. Again, the video got cut off a little bit earlier than I anticipated, but you can remove that power steering pump. Keep in mind it's full of power steering fluid, and you need to find some way to contain that. Power steering fluid, like brake fluid and I'm assuming other hydraulic fluids, have a tendency to peel up paint, and if you recently painted your frame, it might peel that up. So just be warned about that. Also, one other thing to note is that the power steering pump, the way it bolts to the engine, is changed in the TJ, or the later model year of Jeep, which would start in 1996 or 7 is when the TJ, yeah, 7. The mounting hardware, or the mounting locations of the bolts on the intake manifold, are indeed different, and I have even seen it in some of the 95 YJs. Probably they started the change in the last model year of the YJ, and then it carried over. Personally, I think that those are easy to disassemble, but here's a video on this style. If you like videos like this one, you're in luck, because the entire month of November I am doing the complete disassembly of this engine as much as I possibly can, and filming as much as I possibly can. It is engine month. Tune in. Also, November is not the end of it. I'm going to continue working on this Jeep and continue producing videos every single week. So go ahead and hit the subscribe, hit the bell next to it so you're notified, of course. Go ahead, go to my page, check out some of the other playlists and videos. You will also notice I have a Rev Kit and a Patreon. I don't like plugging Patreon, but a comment told me to do so, so I have one. If you want to get involved in that, there is a link for that. Until next video, I hope you have a great time, and I will see you on the trail.